So welcome. This is the Word 2016 Module 1, Creating Documents with Word 2016. So let's jump right in. So in this module, the following objectives will be true. We're going to attempt to learn how to understand word processing software. We're going to explore the Word window. We're going to start a document, save a document, select text, even though I'm not writing anything. That's interesting. Oh, there we go. We're going to format text using the mini bar and the ribbon. We are going to use a document template, and we're going to navigate a document. So let's go. So what is a word processing program? Basically, a word processing program allows you to write or add images or collate your thoughts into something written via the computer. We call these files that you create in Word documents. It's the same idea that you have when you're writing on a piece of paper with a pen. The difference is that when you're writing on a piece of paper with a pen, this is a tangible object, whereas the Word document exists on your computer. That's basically the only difference, other than the fact that you're not actually writing into the document using a pen, even though some of you might using an iPad or whatnot. Here's a sample of a report that was created using Word. You can see how there's images, they have charts, they have headings, written text that's probably in a paragraph form. They have a table that displays information that might be important to the reader. They have the date, they have a header, and they have a footer with the numbering system in it. So this is actually a very complex Word document. I wouldn't say complex because it's difficult, but complex because it has a lot of different things that you can use within Microsoft Word or a word processing application in general. So before you create a document, it is important that you plan. Understand what you're going to write before you write it. But this goes into anything that you're going to write. If you're going to write an essay, if you're going to write a dissertation, if you're going to write a novel, if you're just going to write a letter, you should plan what you're going to write before you write it. And why is that? Not because we want you to be a stickler for being organized, even though that is a good thing. The reason why you want to plan before you create the document is because you want to know what you're doing before you decide to start doing it. This will allow you to actually create something in a suitable amount of time where you don't feel like you have writer's block or you really don't know what you're trying to do. The purpose of and audience for a document determines the design of the document. What does that mean? If I'm writing an essay for school, their basis for how the document is going to be written is already been determined. If they tell me to write an MLA format, as some of you might have written in, or APA format, you will know that the format of the document has already been dictated to you. So the purpose of and the audience for the document determines the design of the document. Whereas, let's say you're writing a marketing document for work, or you're writing a health plan. There might be specific, and my writing is poor with the mouse, but these specificities will dictate to you what your document should be. Therefore, it is important to plan before you create the document with the purpose and the audience in mind. This is the way Word looks when you open it. If you have older versions of Word, it might not have these straight lines. It might be more curvy. But just for the record, this is the newer look and feel of Word. The Word program window opens and displays a blank document and the print layout. Now, this is not necessarily always the case. There are situations where you can ask Word for specific templates. As you can see here, I have my Word opened up, and there's templates that I've used and templates that it might think that I want to use, and it displays those to me when I open Word specifically. Now, this is if you open Word from start. If you open Word from a document, you will not go to this page. What do I mean by start? Start Word. You don't see that, but you should see that here. Word. With that being said, then you can come to this page, or it will take you to this page. And in this page, you can pretty much surmise what you want to do and how you want to do it. So, let's continue. The insertion point indicates where text appears when you type. The mouse pointer changes shape depending on its location in the Word program window. Each pointer is used for a different purpose. A screen tip appears when you point to a button or element in the Word program. So let's test out all these things, shall we? First of all, it says that an insertion point, let's just go to a blank document and let's, there we go. We should be good, I think. Yeah, we're good. So the insertion point indicates where text appears when you type. Here's the insertion point, and that's exactly where the text should appear when I start typing. If I type hello world, there you go. That's my insertion point. Now, if you look closely at my mouse, the mouse is not the pointer icon. It's actually different in this case. It's a font or editor icon. And the reason why that's important is because you want to know what the action behind the pointer is doing before you click. So in this case, if I click, it'll change where my writing utensil is, or my insertion point. If I move away from this hello world, you can see how my icon then changes to that font icon, to the font icon with the paragraph icon next to it. This is insinuating that I'm going to create a new paragraph if I click it, or I can do certain things with the mouse. As you saw, I just clicked and moved it to the right, and I got the font bar here in the layout. If I move off this document, you can see how the actual pointer changes. It changes from the font pointer to the pointer pointer. Now, pointer being the arrow, so I'll say arrow pointer to be more specific. Each pointer has its own specific purpose. And to top it all off, if I scroll up, or if I move the pointer up to the ribbon at the top, you can see how it turns back into a pointer. My assumption here is that I'm going to click something and it's going to do an action. If I scroll over this specific tab or icon and I stay scrolled over for a couple of seconds, I will get a screen tip. The screen tip not only tells me what the icon does, but in certain situations it can tell me what the shortcut is. In this case, if I wanted to align this to the left, I can click this icon, or I can hit Control L. In this case, I'll hit Control L to prove that that is true, and there you go. All right. Quick access toolbars contain frequently used commands and is customizable. As you saw in the Word application that I had open, there were a couple of things, or many different little items that are used frequently when you're using the Word application, such as aligning your text to the right, aligning your text to the left, changing your font size, changing your font style, changing your font weight if you want it to be bold or not, changing the italics of the font, and that's just font. If I went back, if we go back over and I look at what is available, I mean, not only are there many different items available to us in this one ribbon, but if we continue to look at other ribbons like insert, design, layout, references, I mean, there's tons and tons of things here that are used on a regular basis. For instance, I'm in the middle of my dissertation phase and I use insert citation all the time. I just click, add a new placeholder, add a new source. And these are things that are available to everyone that uses Word. These are application events that are built into this Word application that you may or may not have ever used, because to you it's not important. Or there's things that I have never used because to me it's not important, or I've never had to use them. But in this case, they are available. And these are things that, like the text says, are frequently used commands. And these commands are customizable, meaning that if you wanted Start Mail Merge to go somewhere other than Outlook, for instance, you could. That's the beauty of using Word. All right, let's go back to the PowerPoint and let's continue. The ribbon display option button hides or shows the ribbon and tabs, the resizing buttons, and the program. And I just showed you the ribbon display. Excuse me. The ribbon contains tabs, the tabs that I clicked on the top. So if I go back, this right here is the ribbon. These are the tabs. The tabs contain all frequently used commands related to references. Layout contains all frequently used commands related to layout. Design contains, I think you can see a pattern here. Home These are basically all the events and commands that are used majority of the time. This is probably what everyone touches at some point in time when they use Word. Tabs include buttons for commands related to editing and formatting documents. Commands are organized into groups. The Word program window contains a title bar that displays the program and document names. It contains a File tab that provides access to Backstage View, which contains commands related to managing and sharing documents. Create, open, save, and print a document. Share a document. Access Word options dialog box. The Tell Me box is used to find a command or access the Word help system. The Share button saves the document to the cloud. So let's go over what they're actually talking about here. So the title bar displays the program and document names. In this case, the program is Word and the document is document 1. That's the name of the document. I haven't saved it, and until I save it, this will not change. This name will only change when I save it. And when I mean save as. So if I just went and saved this document, granted this is a brand new document, it might prompt me for the name of the document. But if I click save as, what it'll do is it'll pull up a prompt and it will ask me, hey, where do I want to save it? Once I click that location, then it'll ask me, okay, what do you want it to name? What do you want to name it? So let's just pick dissertation files. Can't reach that? Fine. My PC. Let's go to more options, and there you go. I can save the file, and normally the name that it will use are the first couple of words in your document. It normally does that by proxy. So in this case, I can save it as Hello World to my documents folder, and then I will have this document saved. If I did that, so let's just do that to show you. If you look at the top here, the title changed to Hello World. The reason why is because that's the name of the document, now that I saved it. So the File tab provides access to Backstage View. This is Backstage View, where we were. And it has commands it has a lot of usable commands that we need to manipulate the file. So in this case, print the file, save the file to PDF, save it as a docx, docx. We can inspect the document for issues. We can protect the document by password, or we can encrypt it. We can manage the document if it was in OneDrive or if it was in a document space that we didn't want everyone to have access to it. We can open other documents. We can open a new document. We can even go as far as to check your account that's logged in to Word. You can give feedback, or you can change the options of the Word document. And this is actually a very advanced way of doing things. But what you can do is you can come behind the Word document and look at certain things like display, hidden text, print background colors and images, proofing, accent, uppercase, and French, all these things. Majority of the time, most users have never really used some of these options, but it's available to you if you would like to use it or need it. So the Tell Me box is used to find the command, and the Share button saves the document. So if I went to the Tell Me box, which I don't know where that is, interesting. Here's the Share box. I apologize. So here I can share this with someone, and what that essentially means is I can upload it to OneDrive and then share it to them via OneDrive, or I can copy it into a Word document or PDF and send it. So send a Word document via Exchange, send a Word document via Exchange, or whatever email client of your choice. Tell Me adds new comments to or insert a comment. I'm sorry. I don't think I have oh, here we go. Tell Me. Tell Me allows me to type in what I'm looking for, and it will show me what I need, or what it thinks I may need. So in this case, let's say I wanted to add a citation. All of a sudden it says, oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Insert citation. And that would actually be what I needed. So the Tell Me box is a quick way to find commands that you don't remember where they are. All right, let's jump back over. The Word program in the document window displays the current document. Rulers show margins, tab, and indent settings, and the scroll bars are used to display different parts of the document in the document. So once again, we'll come back over. This is the document window. What we're looking at is the document window. It shows the current document, and if I keep on scrolling, you see how the page ends. I like this view. This is the, I think this is a print view, right? And it shows me, and I can actually like it doing it side by side, So when I'm typing, I can have both my documents side by side, so I can see more pages than one. More than one page. I don't have a ruler here, but I'm in the View tab. In the View tab, there is a checkbox near ruler, grid lines, and navigation pane. If I click ruler, it will show the proverbial old school ruler that Word used to have always shown when you use Word. This allows you to create margins, manipulate the margins of the document. So the margin is the space between the text and the edge of the document. If I actually held this box, not these arrows pointing at each other, but if I held these box and I moved it to the right, I can change the margin of the document. And if I press enter and wanted to type more stuff, that margin would remain the same. But let's say I didn't want to change the margin. Let's say I just wanted to change the tab. Oh, jeez. All right. So let's say I just wanted to change the tab. I would just use the top arrow to change the indentation of my tab. So now if I wanted to type something, let's say I typed, boom. You can see how the first line was indented, but the second line was not. This is normally how we type our essays. This top arrow actually manipulates the indentation of your tab. With that being said, you can come back, press enter, and the first line will start once again at this indentation. If you wanted a hanging tab, you would do something like this. And then erase this stuff. Type. And there you go. That's called a hanging tab, where the first line is the full length of the window and the second line is not. All right, let's jump back into the PowerPoint. So the Word program window, the status bar shows page information, the location of the insertion point, and the on and off status of several Word features. The status bar includes view buttons and zoom level buttons and zoom sliders. So, status bar. Where is the status bar? The status bar is at the bottom. So this is our status bar here at the bottom. I don't know if you can see my arrow. I hope you can. Here it will show you a plethora of very important things that might be important to you as you traverse through your academic adventure. One of those things is the word count. If you look down here, if I typed, Ipsit, Lorem, Doran, this is just web development language, and I highlighted 2 of the 3 words, it would tell me, hey, there's 3 words on your page, but you've only selected 2. So if you wanted to check a paragraph to see how many words is in a paragraph, if you want to check your essay to see how many words is in the essay, boom, it's at the bottom. It also tells you how many pages you've already that you have typed. Let me turn this turn it back to vertical so you can actually see the words better. You can also change the zoom level, and that's on the right hand side. You can change the zoom level and you can view specific buttons based on what you want to see. So in this case, I can change the view layout. You saw that I changed the view layout up here in the view button, in the view tab. But you can also do it at the bottom, these quick links down here. If I wanted to change it to web layout, if I wanted to change it back to print layout, if I wanted to change it to a reading document or read mode, I can do it here at the bottom. And let's say I was equally had bad vision, I can zoom in or zoom out. Let's continue. So common mouse pointers. You have the I-beam pointer. This is the pointer I was talking about that manipulates, moves the text in the document. You have the click and type pointer. This is the pointer that has the align left, center align, and then there's a right align paragraph icon that is associated with it. That is when you're not scrolled over text, but you are in the Word document. You have the selection pointer. The selection pointer is normally facing to the left, and when you have the selection pointer working, or when it's on something, the pointer will, the pointer will point to the left, indicating that if you clicked the button, or if you clicked whatever that pointer was on, it would do something. The right pointing arrow pointer is used to normally select lines of text, and it appears when you point to the left edge of a line of text in a document. You have the hand pointer, which clicks hyperlinks. You have the hide white space pointer, which basically does exactly what it says, and then show white space. There's a couple of other automatic features that appear as you type in Word. So Word doesn't always have this on, but autocomplete is a part of Word that can be turned on if you would like to use it or if you need it. Autocomplete is nice when you are attempting to write very quickly and you don't have time to ensure that, or if you want to press enter a lot to fill in the words that you're trying to type. Autocorrect is well known to most individuals with smartphones, also well known to most individuals who have been using computer products for a long time. It can really be a great thing when you don't remember how to spell something. Commission's a word that a lot of individuals do not remember how to spell. But autocorrect can also be a very poor grammatical... autocorrect doesn't work well all the time, but it's great when it works. Spelling and grammar, everyone knows about spelling and grammar if you've used Word, especially if you've submitted Word documents to high school and college and the like. Spelling and grammar saves you from the crazy double negative sentences, the run-on sentences, the misuse of specific prepositional phrases, and the bad spelling that we all are privy to, myself included. These are all inherent to Word. Word has all these features. So, to store a document permanently, you must save it to a file. We just went over saving files. When you save a file, you give it a name, called a file name, and indicate the location to store the file, which I showed you a little while ago. Saving a file allows you to close the file and open it later for editing or printing. And this is how you would save it. And you go into File, as we did. If you click Save, and it's the first time you've ever saved that file, it will open the Save As. Only in Save As can you modify where the file is being saved and the name of the file. If you just click the Save button and you've already saved it once, it'll save it back to the place that you saved it the first time with the name that you used the first time. And here you go. These are some of the dialog box buttons that are in Save As. I'm not going to go over all of them, but majority of them I believe you've used before if you've used Word. Okay, so text selected in the memo. So this is an old school way of looking at letters. It pretty much tells you indentation, paragraph stops, paragraph starts, and things of that nature. So methods for selecting text. You can drag your pointer over the text to select any amount of text, as you saw me do with the ipsum lorem words when I wanted to show you the word count. If you just want a word, you can double click that word. If you want a line of text, you can go all the way to the left line of the text and click. It would look something like this. So I'm all the way at the left line of the text, and if I click, it didn't work. There we go. I'm all the way at the left line of this text. You see how my arrow changed? It was at the left, and now it's pointing to the right. If I click to the right of this line, what will happen is the entire line will be selected. If I just wanted to select one word, I can double click the word, and it will just give me that one word. If I wanted to drag over, or if I wanted lorem and dorem, then I would just drag over it to get those specifically. A sentence, press and hold Control. A paragraph, triple click the paragraph or double click with the pointer to the left of the paragraph. Large block of text, multiple non-consecutive selections, an entire document. I mean, these are all very nice to know shortcuts, but in the end, if you just drag the arrow across the text or drag the arrow across whatever you wanted, it will highlight whatever you want to highlight as long as you're holding the button down, the left click button down. So the mini toolbar in the ribbon includes the most commonly used text and paragraph formatting commands. And just for the record, if you highlight some text and you scroll over it with the mouse, it will give you the font bar, the exploded font bar from the ribbon. So here are some of the objects or the buttons that you'll see inside the font bar. Changes the font, changes the size of the font, changes makes the font larger, makes the font smaller. It copies the formats applied to the selected text and applies that format to another text that you want to select or that you have selected. Apply a style. So this copies the style. This applies the style. This is the bold, italics, underline, Highlighting, you can highlight in yellow or any other color that is available to you in this. You have to click the arrow in the drop down. Change the color of the text. Once again, it can be red, or you can click the drop down. It will give you a subset of colors, or you can choose from a X, Y, I think Z text field. You can click in and select. You can apply bullets. You can change the bullet type. So you can have circles, you can have check boxes, you can have check marks, you can have stars, and apply numbering to paragraphs or items. Bullets to items, bullets to or numbers to items, and these numbers can also be changed. A template helps you create a formatted document quickly. As you saw when I first opened Word and I said that if you look at it, you can manipulate certain things in the document. Well, those documents you saw when I first opened Word were templates. And a template is a formatted document that contains placeholder text. You replace the placeholder text with your own text and save the file with a new file name. Word includes templates for faxes, letters, reports, brochures, and other types of documents. And here it is. This is where we were when we first started. So, new screen in Backstage view, and of course you have cover letter, single space, blog post, APA style format. That's nice. I didn't know they had that. Well, thanks, Word. So, using the undo, redo, and repeat buttons. Control Z. So if you don't know what Control Z is your friend. Control Z allows you to undo a mistake that you made. Control Shift Z or Control Shift Z is the redo button or the redo command. If you want to see that I just said the keyboard shortcut, but if you wanted to see where it was here in the ribbon, it would be interesting. Oh, there it is. So undo typing, and then I can redo. So if I undo, then it would allow me to redo. You cannot redo if you were already at the farthest future object that you created. So if you've not if you did not undo anything, you will not be able to redo anything. However, let's say I typed Dorem and I didn't want to do that, I can say undo. The same is true with Control Z. So Control Z, Control Z, same thing. Control Z gets rid of it. Control Shift Z puts it back. Interesting. Oh, it's Control Y now? Interesting. All right. Well, either way. Control Z or undo. Control Y or redo. So the Word zoom feature we actually went over. It's at the bottom right hand of the Word document. It allows you to have a close-up view on certain objects in your Word document, or you can reduce the document for an overview of the layout. You can access the zoom group on the view tab, or you can access the zoom group at the bottom of the page on the right hand side of the Word document. Here's the zoom slider here, and here's the view tab. You click the view tab, and there will be zoom commands in the view tab, and I believe that's the last one. So using Word document views, we have the print layout view, the read mode view, the web layout view, the outline view, and the draft view. I showed you the print view, I showed you the read view, and I showed you the web layout view, but I did not show you these views. But they're available if you look in the views tab. Click views tab. You can play with all the views to see how the views work for you. Either way, this was module 1, and I hope this worked out for you. I hope this was informative, because I know a lot of you are probably thinking, man, Word, I got this. Word's the way to go. I mean, this is going to be an easy class. And honestly, I agree with you. It should be fairly simple. But that doesn't mean it's not going to be tedious or complicated at some point in time. So with that being said, take your time. Slow and steady wins the race. Either way, this was module 1, and I hope this worked. This worked out and helps you understand a little bit more about the introduction to Word. If you need anything, just reach out. Otherwise, you have a good one. Ciao.